So over on the red side we have Legatus and Captains, and over on the blue side we have Finland for DLC, which comprises of Orkbuster and Tierra. Shall we go over the decks beforehand, or should we just start? Because I think the deployments have been pretty long.
Let's start first.
Alright, so 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, well, let's start off with Orkbuster and Tierra then. These guys are the newcomers, we've not seen them yet. So, Orkbuster is running a Scandi Mechanized, I believe. And Tierra is running a Commonwealth deck. And on the red side, we've got Legatus using his Eurocore deck again, which is the one he used before. And Captain's using a Blue Dragon deck, which we haven't seen yet, so quite exciting.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting combination of decks. I'm very excited to see Captains use his deck, that Blue Dragon's deck. I love Blue Dragon units. I think the Kayamari Shiki is just one of the best tanks on the blue 4 side, and I mean, I love a Chally too, but Kayamari is also very, very fun to watch. But let's have a look at what sort of starts we're going to get. It looks like Orkbuster's placing some Bell 204s. That's not a helicopter we see very often at all. And it's quite a large map. I'm surprised they did choose Jungle Law to play this map. It's probably one of the biggest maps we had in the map pool, because when we did the tournament, we did put up a map pool, didn't we, Val?
We did, yeah. There were 11 maps, going all the way down from 2 1v1 maps, all the way up to Bloody Ridge, which was the largest map at 3v3. And we gave all the teams, there was a veto system, so they always ended up with one map. I mean, hopefully we have a game or two on Bloody Ridge, because that'd be pretty fun, I think. But I think we're mostly going to get kind of your Hop and Glories, Jungle Laws, Paddy Fields, that sort of thing.
Really surprised we haven't seen Paddy Field yet, but I think a lot of teams are too scared to play against better teams than them, because a better team is will almost always win on Paddy Field because it's one of the most played maps. So basically every good team has good strategies for it, which is why it probably gets vetoed out. But anyway, more squads coming in for Tierra now. He's bringing up some Lynx AH7s. Good choice of helicopters there. I think I'm probably just going to end up judging what kind of units they bring in based on the fact that we've never seen them play before. So we've got a Vickers Mark 11 there from Tierra.
I do love the Vickers Mark 11. Yeah, it's not. We don't see it too much, to be honest, but it's a really nice unit. The only problem is that it's nice until you meet enemy tanks, at which point it's kind of a bit useless. the gun's good enough, but it does have something in the rear. I think it's like two front armor, 1 or 2 front armor. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's basically an APC with a big ass gun placed on top of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have Orkbuster on the top side with some Norwegian Leopards and the NM135s. He's got some Panzerbills at the front. That's quite nice. Noah at the back, some heavy AA. Got to be careful that he micros that properly. Over on Captain's side, though, we do see 2 Leopard 2A5s coming out of Legatus on the top. They're supported by Captain's Kairoku WAPCs, and yeah, that's a lot of heavy units on that top side. They're all going to be fighting over Mike, I assume, and probably going to try and push on Foxtrot quite heavily, because if they can get to the open side of Mike without too much trouble, then that's going to give them great access over this field. The only thing they'll have to be scared of is HGM planes coming out of the blue side.
That's definitely true. Definitely true. I mean, it's kind of interesting because on this map you usually see teams play quite standardly, if I can even speak. You see teams play quite standardly, which means that you have people go to Echo, Golf, and Mike most of the time. A lot of the times the red team will leave Echo and just try and take Mike, because Echo is closer to the blue side and very hard to take for red, generally. But it looks like we're seeing a 2-point push from the red team, from Captain Legatus. Because
where would that be? What, towards Charlie or
towards
Foxtrot?
Foxtrot, because that is a lot of points invested on that top side. That's 2 Leopard 2A5s, that's 170 points each. A K1, which isn't cheap itself. And a lot of high quality infantry and expensive, well, relatively expensive transports. The other thing I have to say is they literally have only one AA piece, and it's a closed arrow which has a very small range. It's just a stinger.
Yeah, they definitely need to invest in more AA. Well, they've got the VBR Mistral at the front. They've got the closed arrow. They've also got a Crotel now. All
Okay.
infrared AA. Looks like they don't want to mess around with the radar, but that does leave them, you know, a bit exposed because you sometimes need heavier radar AA to do more damage. But on the bottom side, we've just got a couple of KAFV 25s and a KM 163, probably heading to the crossroads between Echo and India, and then we'll probably see the Kairoku WAPCs and the HMV with the Tansam going to Hotel. So not too much is going to be on that bottom side, and if the blue team notices that, they could take advantage and take over Hotel very easily, and that would give them a nice lead down there if they manage to do that. Also, not much going to the center, so if some APCs came from Charlie to Juliet, for example, one like fast moved down the road and bumped into this Panther, that's something that's, you know, definitely a possibility. You do often see people catch other teams out by just throwing like an APC or some tanks down the center of the map because nobody expects it, and especially when like normally the contention happens between the Gulf sector, all of the units are up on the ridge, so you can definitely get away with like APCs running down that road really, really quickly.
No, you definitely can do. Although, looking at Orkbuster and Tiara's deployment, I noticed they don't actually have any super heavy tanks, and you know, honestly, this usually is kind of like a sign of sort of, I want to say, the less vicious players, because it is a bit more conservative if you don't start with a super heavy. But I kind of think at this level of play, you kind of need to bring one in on that top side, because they're just going to get eaten alive by those 2A5s. It doesn't matter how many of those leopards you have; they're just too light.
Yeah, that is a good point. I think people who are less confident in the game do often neglect bringing in as many tanks, heavy tanks, because they are scared that they will lose them to like an early strike of an ATGM plane or like a Smirch or something like that. So people are very conservative, but that's definitely going to shoot them in the foot, because as soon as that convoy comes up against two A5s and all of these quite heavy APCs, they are going to be very shocked and not being able. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing they're going to be able to do about it in that top side, and yeah, Mike is open for the taking for captains and Legatus, and it looks like we're off. So after a 7-minute deployment, another pretty long one, we are seeing the teams move out. Both teams opting to hold both of their reinforcement points, and it looks like the red team are going for 2-point captures, and the blue team are only going for 1. Well, actually, no, they've got 2 as well. They've got a rover KPV heading out of the Delta spawn. So both teams choosing the same amount of CVs. I think that's a good choice. 4 is solid. It looks like Captains is already going to be bringing in a 5th for them to try and gain a little bit of an advantage early on. The Ninja moving forwards, that with its 4 infrared missiles against these bells, which are very close together. Look how close together those bells are.
They're actually on top of each other.
Yeah.
They're going to get 2-shot, I think.
That is going to be a 2-shot right there. Oh my god. That is devastating. Those bells have like no health, and all those Volskim 90 squads are already down to 1 health each.
They are 30-point infantry squads.
That's insane how much damage that ninja did. And now the Panther's going to come in with the Sneb and finish things off. That is brutal. Oh my god. All those infantry squads are not even moving into cover. That is poor micromanagement from Orkbuster there.
This is somewhere in the region of about 160 points that just went down.
Yeah, that is crazy. Wolverine does take down that little OH there, but Panzerbill rushing ahead, trying to get the initiative onto the Kairoku WAPCs. Wolverine taking down another helicopter, but it looks like Orkbuster's going to have to stop in his tracks, because there's no way he's going to be able to push against Shuju Buntai with what he has currently there. So the majority of the forces that pushed at the start have come to the center at Golf. We've still got the 2A5s trailing behind the Mistral at the top side. That Mistral, a very good unit. I love the VBL Mistral just because it's so fast and has those infrared missiles. It's sort of like a recon AA vehicle that suits tanks so well.
I have to say, I don't know if this is intentional or not, but it looks like Orkbuster's Rover KPV is stuck under that bridge. I don't think he's realised that if he started on the bottom side of Delta.
Oh yeah.
That's a -2 lead, and they've just given up control over Foxtrot.
And that poor guy just sat there underneath that bridge thinking, what am I doing? But Tierra just lost 4 more at AH7s, didn't utilise them very well at all, got them shot down by the Mistral and the Ninjas. And now it looks like these Kairoku WAPCs are coming up against some resistance in their forest there. There's actually not much of a chance for captains to push though. I mean, he's pushing on Gavarman and Canadian Rifles, which had the support of a Leopard Mexus until it got absolutely wrecked by the 2A5. And that's the problem that we were basically pointing out from the start. The 2A5s are definitely going to outclass any medium tanks that the blue side can throw at them. So that's just causing all sorts of problems already. And these Volkskrieger 90s come across the resupply trucks of Orkbuster and they get rid of those, and now the pressure is really on. The 2A5s are just pushing freely, although these F-16A Fighting Falcons are bringing in two 1,000 kilogram bombs each.
They failed to drop though. I don't know where they targeted them, but
one of them failed to drop entirely.
I think what they did, they must have right-click aimed, like attacked unit instead of using the fire position command. Yeah,
that's a pretty awful mistake to make. I would recommend anyone watching this, if you're going to use bombers, always use fire position and adjust the fire position as you see them moving, just so that you always land the strike on target and your plane basically so your plane doesn't fail to drop the bombs, which is exactly what happened. Ooh. And now Tierra and Orkbuster are getting ripped apart by this combination of tanks, APCs and infantry, and there's no like combined forces to stop that. And these AMX-10 RCs,
they're all the way in Bravo as well.
They went straight through the middle and just kept going. Well, actually, I think they came around the top side, didn't they? And then came down straight over the bridge. Looks like they're going to bump into that HQ section if he searches for them. Couple or like a few Warrior Milans coming. They might be able to save the day, especially if the HQ section decides to run. Yeah, they will. And that might just save them.
They're going to lose that CV that Orkbuster failed to bring out from under the bridge, though.
Well, it is hidden.
Oh, actually, no. Well, they do. The red team knows where it is because it was revealed by the ninja.
Oh, nice save by the Warrior Milans. But I think in the middle, it's just the story of this game so far. Look, they've just completely rolled over them at Golf. Orkbuster's infantry and his tanks his tanks got wrecked, which allowed the 2A5s to provide fire support onto the infantry, which meant the infantry got wrecked, and basically that was it. The infantry came in and swept up for captains and Legatus. So Finland for DLC, well,
they may have got their goal, but unfortunately I don't think they'll get the win.
Yeah, they may have got a finish DLC, but yeah, they're not going to win this game. And the BBL Mistral pushing forwards now towards that AH7. They've run out of ammunition. Going to be forced to hide. The AH7 could have turned around then and tried to do some damage, although the AH7's out of ammunition as well. Hasn't been sent back to base yet. We'll definitely go back there now. And yeah, it seems as though this +2 lead from Legatus and captains is going to continue. I'm surprised to not see captains and Legatus actually capture Golf and Mike sooner. They do have a command infantry squad going up to Mike to get a +3 lead, but they should have one already in Golf surely to get a +4 lead. And look at all this infantry and stuff down the hill. These RBS 70 Mark II squads can literally do nothing down there. They could maybe try and pop up and kill the 2A5. That would have been the best bet while it was on the edge of that forest.
Well, no, they're anti-air. They're
oh yeah, of course
manpads.
My bad. So even worse. I mean, I don't know why he has. I don't even know why he has so many of them, because 4 squads of those is actually quite expensive, isn't it? Like they're 25 points apiece, yeah. Plus their APCs. So there was a little bit of like bad management coming out of there for the start of the game, bringing in and relying on so much infantry AA, when he really could have used some of the better Scandinavian units. Like, where's the EOTS Hawk? Like, come on. But either way, Tierra's moving across with these Milans, trying to take on the 2A5s with the Milan missile system on those. And now it's left the Fusilier 90s out in the open. F4, F and KWS coming in to shoot down some fighting Falcons. Probably going to take out the GR7 as well. And this is just an absolute massacre. The F4F is having a field day as there is no radar AA on the map for Orkbuster and Tierra. This is just...
You've got to feel bad for them, I think.
Yeah, this is just horrible to watch. It's basically them being run over. Any sort of resistance they're trying to put up is with like singular units that are being picked off. So they've sent like infantry on their own, they get wiped out by tanks. They've sent medium tanks, they've been wiped out by tanks.
Hey, look, whoa, you're missing out. Tierra's SAS just killed a Leopard 2A5, and the other Leopard 2A5 got sideshot by a 1A5 and is now on 1 HP.
Wow.
Okay. A little bit of mismanagement from Legatus there, I think.
He's probably getting a bit
overzealous,
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, definitely getting overexcited and pushing those just a little bit too far forwards. But come on, guys, bring up the CVs. Let's finish this game. Like, they have full control over Foxtrot and Golf, and they don't have any any commands in there yet.
This is the second Sea Harrier that Tierra's brought out. I mean, you think you'd realise by now that, you know, I don't think that's what you need. They needed some anti-tank.
Yeah, they need the GR7s to get rid of the 2A5s earlier on, and I think they probably would have succeeded as well, because there wasn't much radar AA from Legatus. Yeah, there was none. So the shorter range infrared AA would have struggled to shoot down the GR7s. Sorry, GR7s. And they could have got away with that easily. Now Legatus is just cleaning up the infrared AA squads in the centre. BBL Mistral has discovered a couple of Bisons. They finally captured Golf, and it's a +3 lead currently for Legatus and Captains. And it looks like this is going to just roll on until they win, because, I mean, the KWS is coming again. And they are going to shoot down another plane there.
I mean, the thing about going back to the GR7, when you're playing against Blue Thought, especially, you know, against like Dutch German, Blue Dragon, stuff like that, a Harrier GR7 will one-pass a 2A5 and a Kumarashiki, because they have 3 top armor, and a Harrier GR7 will always kill a tank with 3 top armor in one pass. And that, you know, would have been so devastating.
Did that KWS just shoot down a Lynx 3?
It did, yeah.
That is just painful. And the FOB, the main base at Delta, has literally just been captured by Legatus. So it looks like Captains and Legatus, they're almost being overly reserved. I think they just realised that they can literally run into the base and it won't matter. But Orkbuster trying to put up some resistance with these Stormers, but he's moving them out in the open, and these Marder 2s, once they finish off the NM135s, are just going to focus fire these Stormers and kill those. So you don't ever really want to move infantry out in the open like that, unless you have them amassed and have them with some fire support. And when the fire support is being wrecked by enemy fire support, there's no point in moving them out in the open. And as you can see, the Marder 1s have absolutely ripped those Stormers to shreds with the help of the 2A5. So down here we've got some SAS in Hotel. They are right next to the command infantry of Legatus, and it will be interesting to see if they can get the kill there, get a couple of points back. But the +6 lead for Legatus and Captains,
I feel this game may be over.
Yeah, Finland for DLC are not going to be lasting much longer. So this was a nice rest for my voice, as we will continue to watch the rest of this game. That Leopard 2A5 going up against the TOW 2. who's going to win. Probably the Leopard 205 as it gets on target and destroys that. And now it's going to have a turkey shoot against the NM135s as they try to get closer. This is like the ultimate charge, full Ruski style. Not one step back. Let's charge towards the 2A5 and see if he can kill all 3 APCs before he gets there. Oh, they're going to get close.
Well, I don't know. I think he's going to go down and then the K1A1 as well.
Oh, this is the ultimate. I love it.
Oh,
we won't see the outcome as the game does finish in 12 minutes and 44 seconds as Legatus and Captains take the victory over Finland for DLC, comprised of Hulkbuster and Tierra. And yeah, the KD says it all. 3,025 kills to 1,335 losses for Legatus and Captains. So they made short work of Hulkbuster and Tierra. Simple as that. Not really much else to say. Unfortunately, it seems as though Hulkbuster and Tierra were completely outclassed and couldn't really put up a good defense, especially considering they didn't take any heavy tanks early on. And also, they didn't focus on getting anti-tank airplanes, which would have been perfect for that situation, because I think, honestly, Captains and Legatus left themselves so exposed by not bringing enough radar array.
I mean, to be honest, it's just so many rookie mistakes, I think. I mean, to be honest, I expected this with Hulkbuster and Tierra. Weren't one of the invited teams. Lovely guys. Like, Hulkbuster's a really nice guy. He may have lost the game, but he won my heart. But at the same time, like a lot of things, like those helicopters at the start, that's just so risky for no real gain. The place that he pinged that compound on the other side of Mike, there's no chance he would have got there before, motorized AA or even mechanized AA would have got there first. And then to send those without any escorts at all, even a Lynx 3 would have changed that so much, and he lost like 150 points in the first 2 minutes. And then, it's like we said as well with the Leopard 2A5s, like one Leopard 2A5 will beat an almost infinite number of weaker tanks. Because the enemy tanks can't get close enough to pen the armor unless they get a side shot. And the Leopard 2A5 will two-shot them. And when you have 2 Leopard 2A5s that together will one-shot any medium tank, it's just sad, really. It's just very sad to see.
You're just going to end up throwing units to their death.
I mean, I kind of expected them to try and use those medium tanks to bait out the 2A5s or something, and then anti-tank plane them, but again, just didn't seem to happen. But let me check their decks. Did they have any of them?
Anyway, that's been the 4th game of the VulcanHDGaming Wargame Red Dragon Invitational, and it was a pretty simple one.